Welcome to Baking 101. Master the basics of bread, cakes, and pastries. Have you ever walked into a bakery and been greeted by the intoxicating aromas of freshly baked bread, decadent cakes, and delicate pastries? If so, you are not alone. Baking is an art that combines science, creativity, and a sprinkle of love, and today, we will embark on a delightful journey to unlock the treasures of this culinary craft. Whether you aspire to impress your loved ones or simply want to indulge in the satisfaction of creating something delicious from scratch, this comprehensive guide is tailored just for you. Let's get started. Before we dive into the actual baking, it is imperative to familiarize ourselves with the essential tools and ingredients that will become your trusty companions in the kitchen. First, let us discuss the tools of the trade. A good set of measuring cups and spoons is crucial, as precise measurements can make or break your baking endeavors. Invest in a reliable kitchen scale for accuracy when weighing ingredients, especially for bread making. Next, you will need mixing bowls, ideally in various sizes. A whisk, spatula, and rubber scraper will aid in combining ingredients effectively. A rolling pin is essential for pastries, while a sturdy baking tray and parchment paper will ensure your creations bake evenly and release easily. Now, let's turn our attention to ingredients. Flour is the backbone of most baked goods. All-purpose flour is versatile, while bread flour contains more protein for an ideal rise. Sugar adds sweetness, but remember, it also affects texture. Yeast is a living organism that helps bread rise, and baking powder and baking soda are essential leavening agents for cakes and pastries. Don't forget about salt. It enhances flavor and strengthens the dough. Lastly, fats like butter, oil, or shortening contribute to the texture and richness of your baked goods. With these tools and ingredients at your disposal, you are well on your way to mastering the art of baking. Understanding the science behind baking is vital for success. Each ingredient plays a specific role in the final product. Flour provides structure, while liquids hydrate the flour and activate gluten. Yeast fermentation creates carbon dioxide, leading to the delightful rise in bread. To activate yeast, dissolve it in warm water with a touch of sugar. This process wakes the yeast, allowing it to bubble and foam, indicating that it is ready to work its magic in your dough. When combining dry ingredients, ensure they are evenly distributed. Sifting flour can help eliminate lumps and aerate the mixture, resulting in a lighter cake. When it comes to mixing, remember to follow the recipe's instructions carefully. Overmixing can lead to a dense texture, while undermixing can result in uneven distribution of ingredients. Now, let us explore the process of baking bread, a fundamental skill for any aspiring baker. We will start with a simple white bread recipe that requires minimal ingredients. Here's what you will need. 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 packet of active dry yeast, 1½ cups of warm water, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of salt, and 2 tablespoons of melted butter. Begin by mixing the warm water, sugar, and yeast in a bowl. Allow it to sit for about 5–10 minutes until it becomes foamy. In a separate bowl, combine the flour and salt. Once the yeast is activated, pour it into the flour mixture along with the melted butter. Mix until a rough dough forms. Now, knead the dough on a floured surface for about 10 minutes, or until it becomes smooth and elastic. Place it in a greased bowl, cover it with a damp cloth, and allow it to rise in a warm area until it doubles in size, approximately an hour. Once risen, punch down the dough to release the air, shape it into a loaf, and place it in a greased loaf pan. Cover it again and let it rise for another 30–45 minutes. Preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, 190 degrees Celsius, and bake for about 30 minutes or until golden brown. Allow the bread to cool before slicing, and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Next, we move on to cakes, those delightful confections that bring joy to any occasion. A basic vanilla cake is a perfect starting point for beginners. For this recipe, you will need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1½ cups of sugar, 1/2 cup of unsalted butter, 1 cup of milk, 3½ teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 175 degrees Celsius, and grease and flour your cake pans. In a mixing bowl, cream together the butter and sugar until light and fluffy. Then, add eggs one at a time, mixing well after each addition. Incorporate the vanilla extract. In a separate bowl, sift together the flour, baking powder, and salt. Gradually add the dry ingredients to the wet mixture, alternating with the milk until smooth. Pour the batter evenly into the prepared pans and bake for 25–30 minutes. To check for doneness, insert a toothpick into the center of the cake. It should come out clean. Allow the cakes to cool before frosting with your favorite icing or enjoy them plain, a versatile delight indeed. Finally, we arrive at the world of pastries, where flaky, buttery layers create exquisite treats. Today, we will learn to make a basic puff pastry, which can be used for both sweet and savory dishes. You will need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of cold unsalted butter, and 1/2 cup of cold water. Begin by mixing the flour and salt in a bowl. Cut the cold butter into small cubes and add it to the flour mixture. Use a pastry cutter or your fingers to blend until it resembles coarse crumbs. Slowly add the cold water until the dough comes together. Wrap it in plastic wrap and refrigerate for at least 30 minutes. Once chilled, roll the dough into a rectangle and fold it into thirds. This process is known as lamination, and it creates the flaky layers. Repeat this rolling and folding process 3 times, chilling the dough in between if it becomes too warm. You can now use your puff pastry to create delightful treats such as turnovers, tarts, or even savory pastries. Brush with an egg wash for a golden finish and bake at 400 degrees Fahrenheit, 200 degrees Celsius, until puffed and golden. As we conclude this journey through baking 101, remember that practice is key to mastering these skills. Baking is not just about following recipes, it is about experimentation, creativity, and most importantly, having fun in the kitchen. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Each one is a learning opportunity. Share your creations with friends and family, and enjoy the rewarding experience of serving something homemade. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this guide inspires you to embark on your baking adventure. Don't forget to subscribe for more culinary tips and techniques, and happy baking!